Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. So, is crypto going to be a flight to safety? I think with the lowering of the current interest rates, many say that we are in a mid-cycle adjustment. And this is got a lot of people speaking loudly that we should be saving our powder, referring to the term gunpowder, for a critical time in the battle. And a critical time just might be now with this coronavirus. It is possibly a black swan. If it becomes a pandemic, it is going to be one of those events that nobody could foresee. And central banks have been flooding global economies with money. And now, just recently, they began to expand their balance sheet, which means they have begun to pull back on lending and investing. And this is often referred to as when liquidity begins to dry up. So when money doesn't move to the businesses, and if it actually stops, we've got a liquidity crisis. Put on top of that, the regions of the world like in Europe and Japan that have a zero yield. It just doesn't pay to keep your money in a bank at all. And that is why maybe possibly the US Treasury bonds will be a safe haven because you can get a return, maybe 1.35 to 1.4% on a 10-year bond. So it's easy to understand why people would move over to a bond. But the CNBC guy Adamy thinks that we are just in the middle of madness, and this is just nonsense because the yield curve inverted recently, and that has been a 100% indicator that in 18 to 24 months out, it is a sure recession. Now, the coronavirus could make that time frame much, much shorter. So can China counter this effect? Well, we have SARS only to look at as far as a historical record. And that was a flu virus that broke out in 2003. And at that time, the economy of China was only 1.6 trillion. That's the size of New York. It's now 14 trillion. So it is not comparable. And I want to remind you that sentiment really drives the markets. Absolutely. And we didn't have Twitter nor YouTube in 2003. And if you're spending any time on those platforms, you know that there is a huge amount of chatter with this coronavirus. So, crypto prices. How much will this economic shock affect crypto? When you've got 1/3 of the spending on luxury goods coming from China, and they are the biggest importer of oil, even though we haven't seen in the last 24 hours that the crypto market is correlated to the stock market, there are just too many unknowables right now. And we have to really start to pay attention because if China slows down for 3 months and they pull back 30% like they did in the time when they had the SARS outbreak, it's going to hurt even more. 73% of the American economy and other countries as well are in line with that same percentage, are driven by people who buy things. Now, are people going to feel like buying things when the sentiment is so scary? I don't think so. But you've got Bob Michel of JP Morgan, and he's on the other side of the fence. He says the feds have 2/3 of their gas left and that they have only cut 3 times and they can potentially do 6 more 25 basis cuts. Well, I don't know which side of the fence you are on, but he thinks there's enough firepower left. And the refinancing that occurred for home loans because of those 3 cuts have put a lot of cash into American pockets, and he thinks we're okay. But here is one staggering fact I want to point, and that is 60 central banks around the world have cut the rate 90 times combined for over 9,000 basis points. That is staggering. That is scary. So my point is right now, if you're in this space, you need to really find some new sources. You need to expand on where you're getting your information. And there is one channel that's new. It's called Wickedly Crypto. She is in this crypto space. She covered the coronavirus and also the stock market, with the crypto market today. She really knows Asia. So I know she's new, but she's good. And I've been following her. And I just want to say that when you do your expansion of resources for knowledge, this is one that you might consider. Okay, everybody, I want to connect some really big dots for you. This is the Ripple Insights page, and you can see that TransferGo in November the 25th, 2019, they partnered with Ripple, and the Ripple partnership is going to offer global real-time payments everywhere to everyone. And in this yellow portion down here, you can see that even in 2020, a few minutes is too slow to transfer money. And that is why TransferGo is looking into using RippleNet's on-demand liquidity with XRP. It will, of course, provide an alternative to pre-funding. And at the same time, the company wanted to expand its real-time operations into those new markets of Southeast Asia, which is the #1 region for Ripple right now, and Latin America and Africa. Those are the 3 regions that I said yesterday in the video that we will probably see ODL go live into. So they will continue, Ripple and TransferGo, to be vital strategic partners in the mission to become global real-time payment companies. All right, so that was November 25th. Now I'm going to take you to January 14, 2020, TransferGo connected with Currencycloud, and they did it to move into 14 new markets in Q1. All right, this is going to undo the cumbersome process and bureaucracy and fees that exist in countries like Japan and the United Arab Emirates, Malaysia, Kenya, and more. So to date, listen to this figure, more than 50 billion has been transferred between 180 countries using Currencycloud's 85 APIs. They are also in the middle of opening a new Singapore office, which is going to help them tap into that Southeast Asian region. And here is the third dot, which is big. We learned that SBI Holdings, Visa, Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand, which has been in lockstep with SBI for the last couple of years, and BNP Paribas have brought a Series E round of funding to Currencycloud. And this is not a blockchain company. This is a payment tool company for international payments. And their total funding to date now is 140 million. These are heavy hitters swarming on honey. And the honey is the current 80 million in funding. I want to just tell you about a funding for this company that occurred before SBI came in to play. This is a company called Sapphire Ventures. All right, they're in Palo Alto. They're a group that really focuses on fintech and technology, and they were part of the round before this one. They have led 20 IPOs. They've done 35 M&A exits, and they have 4 billion under their management. And in the blog, you can see that specifically they see blockchain as enabling significant value, this creation through cryptocurrencies, and has the potential to enable business process change that could unlock efficiencies and cost savings in traditional businesses. Example, Ripple. Yeah. So the limited partners may offer faster timelines for value creation and shorter timelines for liquidity than traditional VCs. And cryptocurrencies do not share the long-term lockup as VC equity. And there are lower fees and uncorrelated returns to other assets. So this company that invested into Currencycloud really has their eye on Ripple. And it's just, you can see how interwoven this is becoming. That's why I say that it is just like bees on honey. All right, this is the last little bit of information. This is, well, I want you to do your own research. This is big. This is today's news. And the agent Vertalo chose Tezos over Ethereum for their security token development. STOs. So everybody knows I've been talking about Tezos. This is huge news. I just want to give you a heads up. Please do your research. Okay, I am moving into the fluff. This is Kei Kobayashi. Kobayashi-san is in France right now, but he did today become the first Japanese chef to get 3 Michelin stars in France. There are Japanese chefs who have 3 stars here in Japan, but he's the first to do it in France. He's just 42 years old. He's known for his perfectionism, which of course can make him a difficult person to work with, so the word is on the street. But he is in the center of the capital of France right now, and he runs a restaurant with his wife. It's really lovely. Look at that. Yeah. Now, some of you might think, oh, I don't need this, but I want you to add this to your list of things to experience in the world. Everybody needs to experience a Michelin star meal. And if you look at what he creates, I just can tell you, I think it's the most beautiful presentation I have ever seen. I have never seen anything like it. I didn't know about him before his announcement today. I just think it's unbelievable. It's more beautiful than a painting. Look at this. Look at that. I'm in love with it. So you can see that his menu is online. You can have lunch starting at about $60 US. It's a little it's a little expensive, but yeah, well, I can just tell you, you need to put it on your list if you've never done a Michelin meal. Now, if you come to Tokyo, I have a Michelin recommendation for you. This is Suzuki-san, and he runs a restaurant in Azabu Juban, okay? And it's called Piatto Suzuki. And he is one place you can enjoy, and you're not going to lose all the money in your wallet, but I guarantee you will have an amazing experience. One of the favorite places that I like to sit is right here, actually. This is my seat. It's a counter with only 5 chairs, but if you can get your reservation timed at the right time, the right day, you can request the counter and you can watch them cook. There's only about 6 tables in the restaurant. And it's one of those restaurants too that you can go out and have an amazing meal starting at midnight. So it's got a very late crowd. I think that it's not uncommon to see people finishing up about 2 o'clock in the morning. So getting a 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock reservation is really perfect, actually, especially if you want to do some people watching. All right, this is also what you'll see if you get to sit at the counter. This is taken from the counter, and this is Suzuki-san on the right, and this is his son who cooks side by side with them. Actually, in this tiny kitchen, you'll see about 6 or 7 chefs, and they have an amazing way to communicate without any verbal speaking to each other. It's a non-verbal communication. It's amazing. It's really something that you must try. So please come to Tokyo. And I know a lot of you are thinking like, oh gosh, this is just not my bag. If you come to Tokyo, or Osaka for that matter, Osaka even has better food than Tokyo. You will learn that there are so many places in Japan to have Michelin star quality for the same price that you would go and eat at a typical restaurant in the rest of the world. The quality here is just so incredibly high because it's so competitive. So anyway, I just want to keep adding to everybody's list of things to do because we're getting close, everyone. All right. Do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.